let me start with, providing a format for the overview of the report. The report that we're going to write will begin by saying that this was a focused evaluation based on coming to the institution and seeing the progress that has been made since the institution was placed on probation. Probation is a 2-year time period, and so, it's necessary for us to come and report on that progress. We, as I said before, have found everyone here to be as helpful as can be and as transparent as can be, and have provided as much information as possible. So I'll do highlights of the 4 areas of focus very briefly. And the first area of focus is what in our language is known as Standard 3. That's the Standard on Organization and Governance. And the commission identified concerns about Standard 3, 2 concerns about Standard 3. One was that the college, and I'm reading, would employ a staff sufficient in role, number, and qualifications appropriate to the institution's mission, size, and scope, and had expressed particular concerns about the college's reliance on volunteers and part-time employees, as well as the absence of a chief academic officer. The second issue in Standard 3 was expressed by the commission related to the effective governance functioning of the Board of Trustees. And that related specifically to how the board was organized, how effective it was in working with the president, and how effective it was in exercising its fiduciary responsibilities. So those are the 2 issues in this standard, and so a few highlights. On the issue of adequacy of staffing, clearly one of the major organizational challenges for the college has been to create a stable and effective administrative team to support the college. Staffing for college offices and services has largely stabilized in our view at this time, and significant efforts have been made to support members of the team who have now assumed new responsibilities. However, we would also note that our review made it clear that the college is supported by a very lean but dedicated and collaborative administrative team. Relatively few support staff are available, and many of the administrators fill multiple roles at the college. While all members of the college community are positive about their work and are deeply committed to the success of the institution, additional staff in some areas would clearly be helpful in balancing the workload and in providing enhanced services to students and employees. In reviewing the current governance structure and functioning of the Board of Trustees, it's clear to us that trustee governance at the institution is now vastly improved. After a significant period of attrition from the board, the membership has been rebuilt to include new trustees with expertise and the capacity to fulfill their fiduciary responsibilities to the college. And the president, President Moore, has established a positive and appropriate working relationship with the board, and this body, in our view, has now assumed its proper role in the governance of the institution. So those are our highlights of Standard 3. Standard 4 is the academic program standard, and in this standard there were a series of academic issues that we were to address, and so I'll highlight each of them briefly. The first was in terms of the college's academic programs. The college's academic programs, we feel, are consistent with its mission as a progressive academic institution, offering individualized courses of study. And the college has begun a necessary process of reviewing its portfolio of programs and reducing the number both to focus and clarify its offerings and to adjust to enrollment changes. In terms of academic quality, the college has recently instituted a program review process that addresses enrollment, retention, graduation rates, and learning outcomes. The process includes 2 external reviews, 1 academic and 1 professional, and a schedule for these program reviews has been developed for the next 5 years. Outside of the program review process, it's not evident how ongoing assessment of learning outcomes takes place beyond the individual instructor level in a consistent way. However, the administration and the faculty both appear to understand the need to implement more and stronger assessment at the program and course levels and have made preliminary steps towards this goal. This section also addresses a number of specific programs, and so I'll very briefly comment on those. The Hospitality Event Management Program has a new curriculum in place and a strong external advisory board. The college has not yet been successful in recruiting a full-time director for the program, but it has appointed 2 adjunct faculty members as co-directors in the interim. Second specific program was the woodworking program, and we find that the off-site woodworking program is enrolled at capacity, and the program has been brought under the oversight of the chair of the art department in order to ensure appropriate academic oversight for its credit-bearing programs. In terms of dual enrollment programs, the academic quality of dual enrollment and other off-site partnership programs has been assigned to one of the co-assistant deans, who conducts an analysis of each course along with 2 to 3 faculty members and 1 external person in order to ensure that it meets college standards. Finally, on teach-out, the college has developed detailed teach-out programs individualized for each student in each program, including recommended transfer institutions. And in the library, the college has recently hired a new librarian, and initiatives are in place to broaden students' access to resources. That's Standard 4 highlights. Standard 5, which is the faculty standard, highlights. Burlington College has a core of dedicated faculty who believe in the mission of the college. They have either stayed with or joined the institution during the recent difficult years. They are deeply committed to student learning and success. The institution has taken steps to assure that there are adequate faculty whose time commitment to the institution is sufficient to assure the accomplishment of in-class and out-of-class responsibilities essential to the fulfillment of institutional mission and purposes. The number of FTE standing faculty members has increased since the 2007 visiting team report. Teaching loads for the standing faculty have increased significantly over the same time period as well. However, the number of students taught per semester remains small. The increase in teaching load indicates an increase in the number and type of courses taught for a number of individualized majors. The institution has also made progress towards its stated goal of having 55% of courses taught by standing faculty. Using the standing faculty list as accurate, the percentage of courses taught by these faculty would come close to the 55% mark at this point in time. Burlington College has also made progress towards ensuring that all faculty, both standing and community faculty, have a systematic understanding of effective teaching and learning processes and outcomes in courses and programs. Community faculty have indicated that the creation of a faculty lounge as part of the building renovations done this past summer has greatly improved their teaching experience. The expansion of 2 standing faculty members' roles to include the responsibilities of assistant academic deans has been a positive addition to the college. And the college and the faculty were extensively involved in preparing a teach-out plan, the teach-out plans for Burlington College students as referenced earlier in this report. Those are highlights of Standard 5. The last standard to provide highlights is Standard 9 on financial resources. The sale of land for $7,650,000 in February 2015 enabled the college to reduce its debt. In addition, the college has a purchase and sale agreement with the same developer to sell the orphanage building and the development rights to the north of the building for $2 million by the end of January. The college continues to operate in financially challenging conditions while experiencing some improvement in their trends. In terms of operating results, an unaudited surplus of $317,000 projected for FY 2015 provided prior to the visit was updated during the visit to an unaudited surplus of $29,880. This surplus has been seen as a significant milestone in being in the black, reflecting the concerted efforts of the leadership to more closely align the expenses with the revenues being generated. However, these results include net gains on the sale of property, thus the change in unrestricted net assets would have been negative in FY 2015 without this non-operating source of income. Maintaining the availability of the bank line of credit of $1 million with People's United Bank is critical to the college's ability to manage its cash flows. A major risk that the college is facing is a decline in enrollment. The undergraduate financial FTE enrollment was 186 for fall 2014 and is now 123 for fall 2015 versus the original budget of 165 before alternative budgets at 145 and a contingency budget at 125 were prepared. The target for January 2016 is 20 FTE. And the growth plan for fall 2016, 17, and 18 is to have 155, 190, and 215 students respectively. And this growth plan will be essential to the success of the college. The current director of admissions started June 1st following a 10-month interim director, and steps are being taken to drive the admissions funnel pipeline. Recruitment projections and goals for 2015-2016 have been set, with increases in high school, community college, and college fairs expected. The development of potential rental housing on campus available to students is expected to favorably impact enrollment if this occurs. Student services offices have been consolidated to facilitate user-friendly services, and efforts to re-energize the Alumni Association have begun in order to increase involvement related to mentoring, internships, part-time jobs, and potentially admissions. The state of the college's financial condition compounds the need for more proactive financial planning, monitoring, forecasting, and control. There has been a significant amount of needed change at all levels of the institution to provide future direction and cost savings while making investments in facilities for students. Key personnel in the positions of the president, the CFO, director of financial services, and business office manager have been stabilized. The finance committee of the board has been meeting regularly, receiving monthly cash flows, approving the budget, and establishing reporting requirements. An inclusive strategic planning process was launched in February 2015. SWOT analysis was done and served as the basis for development of the strategic plan with the community. 5 strategic goals have been established. The Board of Trustees participated in the process and approved the plan in August 2015. And finally, the institutional advancement function currently focuses on the annual fund and grants. Gifts received amounted to $47,825 in FY 2015, and there will be an opportunity to increase fundraising as the college moves forward. So our summary, following highlights from the areas of focus, is this. In its self-study, Burlington College asked the visiting team and the commission to review Burlington College as a work in progress. Viewed through this lens, it is clear that there have been positive changes since July 2014, when the college was placed on probation. Based on our visit to the campus, the members of the visiting team believe that the current strengths of the college include the following. First, strong and effective interim presidential leadership that has focused the college community on the essential work needed, and a new but largely stable administrative team that is clearly dedicated to the success of the college and is unified in its efforts to provide an appropriate educational experience for Burlington College's students. Second, a core of dedicated faculty who believe in the mission of the college and are deeply committed to student learning and success. Third, a significant decrease in the college's debt burden based on the sale of real estate and a decrease in operating budget deficits and payables that have allowed judicious investments in redesigning spaces and services for students for greater efficiency and effectiveness, with a plan for further investments in support of academic quality should additional real estate transactions occur this year. Fourth, a revitalized Board of Trustees that secured very effective interim presidential leadership and assisted the interim presidents in addressing the financial challenges of the college. And 5, new staff in a number of areas that have begun to address data issues and have created a redesigned admission strategy for the college. These positive changes have improved the conditions at the college, with recent graduates citing their satisfaction with their education, including close to a unanimous response that their experience at the college had exceeded their expectations. As a work in progress, however, the team believes that further work is needed to address the concerns raised by the Commission and to meet the standard on financial resources. These concerns include, first, the financial situation of the college remains tenuous, exacerbated by a continued decrease in student enrollment to a current level of 123 undergraduate FTE. While the college has budgeted carefully to accommodate this situation, this budget contains little or no contingency funding for emergencies. Second, the college has a critical need to increase enrollment to provide the long-term financial stability needed for adequate staffing in key administrative and academic areas and to ensure a critical mass of learners in the college's academic programs. Third, the planned real estate transactions for the sale of the orphanage and a small plot of land could further decrease debt and allow the college to invest in needed equipment. However, these transactions are not complete at this time. And finally, fourth, the college has begun a necessary process of streamlining its programs and course offerings to strengthen academic quality. However, further work is needed. And in closing, the members of the visiting team will conclude the report by thanking the members of the college community for their willingness to host our visit and support our work over the past 3 days, which leads us to the next steps. The next steps will be that the team will put this together in a slightly more articulate fashion than I've been able to do. We'll provide this report to President Moore following a timeline established by the commission, which we will meet, if not exceed, we hope. President Moore will then have a chance to fact check all of the text and to come back to us if there are issues that she feels are inaccurate in any way. And so we will work together to try and have a report that we believe is an accurate assessment of the status of Burlington College as of October 6th, 2015. Once that report is completed, it is then sent to the college for the next step. The college community, and the president will lead this process, I'm sure, has the opportunity to write a response to this report. Both our report and the college's response go to the commission, an independent group of 30-some people from the New England higher education community. And the president will appear before that commission at a meeting this spring where she will present to the commission any further thoughts that she may have on the progress demonstrated by the college at the time of that visit. And so an ultimate decision about the college's status will not occur until those steps are followed, and will not occur until the president has an opportunity to meet with the commission. And following that meeting, then the commission will contact you and apprise you of your status and where you are at that time. And it will be a personal phone call as well as a letter, I'm quite certain, knowing the situation. So I hope that gives you at least some sense of our work here over the last several days. It's very hard to come into an institution in a short period of time and really feel that you have grasped everything. So we really thank you for your patience with us, for the questions that we've had to ask to try and drill down and understand the institution further, and thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, again, on behalf of our entire community, let me thank each of you personally and collectively. This has been a great visit for us, and just wonderful of you to give your time so freely, and again, insightful questions. I know you really did your homework, and it was not an easy job. So we thank you for your colleagueship and your good work. And we are scheduled to have a full visit in October 2017. So I'm going to go right upstairs now and ask every one of you can come back.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.